The best.
You're the best.
What's up, Bean Mafia? We're back.
Hello.
I'm with the most beautiful person on earth, and Sam. And it is a beautiful... No, I'm kidding. Come on, guys. Who's more beautiful than Sam? No one's more beautiful than Sam. It's Sam and Natalie Portman. We all know the list. Boo Boo.
Thank you.
And Rihanna's up there, too. And Beyonce, of course. But she's like y'all's mom.
And then Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie's... she's an underling to y'all, to me.
There's some good ones.
It's some good ones, you know? But... I got you, and I'm very, 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 very thankful. I feel very lucky. The Beaners also remind me that I'm lucky. Thanks, guys. You say it in mean ways like, how the fuck did this ugly fuck face get hurt? Hey, could have said that a little nicer, but I appreciate the compliment, I guess. Okay? Okay? Sam Jam.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back on the pod.
I'm always glad to be on the pod.
I know I had Jeffrey on recently.
Wasn't that fun?
I know he doesn't know Marvel movies.
That's like the greatest thing that's ever happened.
That's pretty awesome. I can't wait to tell him all these fucking Marvel. It's like that walked right into my life that he hasn't seen Marvel movies, just like Hassan did before he passed away. Rest in peace. But it's cool to be around another motherfucker that hasn't seen a bunch of big movies. You know, like you.
Yeah, it gives more opportunity for you guys. Lots of movies that we haven't seen. Jeffrey's seen. There's so many great movies he hasn't seen.
There is some great movies Jeffrey hasn't
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
He looks and he absorbs them differently.
Yeah, he absorbs them critically, whereas you absorb them with your heart.
Yeah, I'm here for an adventure.
I love that about you, dog.
Yeah.
You ride the roller coaster.
I do.
You know, that's what makes you the best. And that's why the Bean Mafia loves you so.
I love you guys.
Oh, thanks, Sam. God, it's good to be back, Bean Mafia. It really is. Me and Sam are high. We are lit motherfucking dooski right now. We just bought a new bong from this place in Austin where we live. We live on campus in Austin. We live literally on
it's pretty crazy.
Bro, on the campus of the University of Austin. That's where we live. And we there's like this little food truck place right by our house where it's like just like 7 or 8 food trucks in a circle.
There's a bong truck.
And there's a bong truck and like a weed guy truck, right? And yo, they sell weed. Like, weed is illegal in Austin. I'm probably just ratting on them right now, but they sell weed. It's amazing. Like not like under the table weed. Like, yo, like on the counter is like.
It's like technically not marijuana.
Yeah, they called it like Delta Phi 9, and then and I was like, what? And the girl was like, look, all I can say is if you take a drug test, you gonna fail that shit. And I was like, okay, white girl, you know. But that shit's crazy, bro. And we got a bong from them the other day, and it is.
It's very nice.
If any of you guys make bongs out there, any of the Bean Mafia, send us a bong. We'd like another. We like bongs.
He likes bongs.
You don't like? You don't like them either, Miss Fucking High in a rocket ship right now, Elton John, Rocket Man.
I like bongs too.
No, I like them a lot. I know I do. I do really like them a lot. What is your favorite thing to smoke out of them?
A J.
You like a J?
Yeah, I don't like what it does. I don't like how it's also like on my teeth either. That I don't enjoy.
And the J?
Yeah, I feel like I'm smoking like a cigarette and like it's building up.
That's why the bong is so clean. It's just
that's why I like the bong. But I do like the high of a J. Preferred? Yes.
A J is also a J is great to me when you're smoking with somebody. I guess it's great to smoke it by yourself too. But I like a J when I'm with people and we're hanging and we're outside talking or some shit like that. That's when a J is great. Mm-hmm. If I'm like in a setting, like a sitting setting, I want a bong.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's me. This is just me personally. But yeah, we got high as fuck today because one of our sponsors, the great Stellar Elixirs, asked for this. Guys, if you like weed and you like marijuana products, try, oh my God, and when I say try, I mean try Stellar Elixirs. We had some last night. This is the fruity kind right here. The Stellar Elixir fruity kind. We tried the chocolate kind.
Whoa.
On some ice cream, nigga, last night.
Because I had chocolate ice cream, and then it was chocolate on top of chocolate.
And we just were like, let's see what it's like. And nigga, when I say we slept, I slept. We slept.
I hadn't slept in a long time, and I slept.
Nigga, last night was asleep.
It was nice. It was a good vibe. I needed it.
Yeah, I get.
It's been a long time.
Snow White, was she one of the bitches knocked out? Mm-hmm. Nigga like that, bro.
Yes.
Snow White was sleeping.
Yeah, her and Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty too. Them bitches was knocked out, bro, off them Quaaludes. Nigga, but fuck a Quaalude. We're talking about Stellar Elixirs, baby.
Stellar Elixirs, baby.
Dude, so on Instagram, at STELLARELIXIRS, Stellar Elixirs. You can put it on all your foods, dude. Like, so this is the fruity kind. You can put on like drinks or any kind of things like that. You want to get high as fuck, or just like fruitier kind of things. And then the chocolate thing, you can put on anything chocolate. That's what we realized.
Or
like,
anything you want chocolate on.
Yeah, anything you want chocolate on. You know what I mean? Like that. So that shit is fire, dog. Shit is fire. The guy's name's Deric. He spells it wrong, and I hold a grudge against that. I really didn't want to work with him, but he makes good weed products. That's how good the weed is. Because I would never work with a man who spelled his name DERRICK.
Oof.
Like a monster.
Why would you do that? That doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't even make sense.
All the other names like Deric are spelled the other way.
I don't know what this guy's doing, but he makes a great weed elixir, and you go follow him. It's all natural, solventless, and easy to control dosage. It is easy to control. Literally, boop, boop, little squirt out the bottle. It's good to go. Dude, amazing. Amazing. Stellar Elixirs, everybody. Again, on Instagram, STELLARELIXIRS. Stellar Elixirs. They're based out of Colorado, so all of our Colorado beans, definitely show them some love. If you like weed edible stuff, that's where you go get it from. Sam.
Yes.
Today's movie. The reason we got super baked before I'm always a little high. You guys know me, but I'm not like toasted like this. I am toasty.
Yeah,
I'm Toast Malone right now.
I am also Toast Malone. I'm too far.
Too far.
We had to set up this shot like 5 times.
Oh yeah, and it made me higher. You thought that brought me down, but it made me higher. It made me realize, man, I'm high as fuck. Because the shot is fucked up. Our light box broke, so that's why we had to use the natural lighting today and set it up at this angle. Anything for you guys, bro. You know we're gonna make it work. We're not gonna leave y'all hanging and not give y'all the episode. Come on, baby.
We follow through.
But the reason we're baked is because Stellar Elixir, he said, hey, you know, he bought a certain number. I won't say the number he bought, but he bought a certain number of ad, which you can also do. If you want to buy ad space on our podcast, just hit us up at spoilthebeans@gmail.com, on Instagram at spoilthebeans, or just hit me up personally on my Instagram or Sam up, whoever you follow, whoever you see. Hit us up in the message, and then we'll get right back to you with our pricing and what it costs. You can also, we got a lot of you guys are hitting it up. A lot of you guys are buying episodes, which you can do, and I really appreciate it. It's fun. Spoil the Beans is growing, and we're becoming just a bigger family, bro. More episodes, more content for everybody, and we're promoting each other's stuff on it. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's just a fucking bean mafia.
A big bean brothers.
A big Mexican
sisters
family.
And uncles and aunts. Hey.
Cha 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 cha.
I do like the ja 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 ja. That's a way better way to laugh.
That's how Mexicans always do it better. They laugh better. They do everything better. But the reason we're baked, there's a reason we're stoned. My boy Deric from Stellar Elixirs, he said, hey, man, you got to do a stoner movie for me.
Oh.
That's what he said. You got to do a pilot. And I was like, all right, bro. If I'm going to do a fucking legendary stoner movie, I'll do it, and I'll get high for it, and I'll get Sam toasty for it. Sam, can you tell me what you think happens in one of the most legendary cult classic stoner movies ever, from Comedy Store Family, a movie you've never seen from the 90s? Sam, tell me what you think happens in Half Baked.
Oh, damn. This is so hard. I have no clue.
It's your movie.
It's
tell me
okay.
What you think happens
In my movie, it's a story about 2 brothers who get really, really baked, but they have to also bake a cake.
Ooh.
And they only half bake the cake.
Oh shit! Shenanigans, brothers and shenanigans. I love it. Keep going. That's awesome.
But the problem is, it's like a rum cake. So maybe like everyone gets drunk, but instead of rum, maybe they use absinthe. I don't know. It gets crazy,
Yeah.
And then someone eats like a whole thing of brownies by accident, and at the end of the day, the guy gets with the girl that he's been like kind of looking at the whole time.
Okay.
Half baked.
And that's Half Baked.
Yep.
Wow. 100% wrong.
I know.
I know. Do you know who's in this?
I have no clue. I want to say maybe like Dave Chappelle.
Why do you want to say that?
Because you're acting like it would be your vibe.
My vibe.
Sometimes
what does that say?
Just the way you're talking, like, I can't believe you don't know.
I didn't look at you putting that on me. I wasn't saying that at all. I was just curious that you don't know who's in it.
I don't know anything about it.
You know, but you guessed correctly on that because Dave Chappelle is in this.
I know your vibes.
The GOAT is in this. You know my vibes. You haven't heard it from anyone else? You've heard of this? Have you heard that this movie exists?
I've heard that this movie exists, but I've never gone any further than that.
That is fair. Oh my God, I'm very excited to tell it to you. I am baked out my gourd. First time I saw this movie, I wasn't smoking weed yet. I was way young. I was a kid. Like, I wasn't a kid, I was young, but I still thought it was fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. I saw this movie as a teenager, and I thought it was fucking hilarious then. And then as I got older and smoked weed, I was like, oh, this is a ridiculous movie. Mm-hmm. Before we get into it, Samantha, we got to pay the bills again.
We have so many bills to pay.
We got a lot of bills to pay, guys.
Bills.
Pay my telephone bill. Pay my automobile. I don't think you do. So you and me are through. Darren Bates. Also the Beyonce of our family.
Yeah, he's the hottest.
Guys, Darren Bates. Go follow him on Instagram. That's literally all his ad is. That's all he wants you to do. The only thing he's paying for this. So go show our boy some fucking love, man. He's showing the beans love, and he's showing the beans the most love.
So
our
show
boy
him love.
Pays and takes care of it. Make sure the bills are paid. That's what he does. So go show him some love, man. Darren Bates, all right? DARENBATES at WestlandSon_56 on Instagram. And just say what, Sam?
Tell him the beans sent you.
That's literally all he wants. He just wants to know that the beans are showing love to him. They're going to follow his podcast, The Raw Room. That's The Raw Room, at Raw Room on Twitter, at Raw Room on Instagram, at Raw Room. Anywhere you're listening to podcasts, anywhere you're listening to this right now. And go follow our boy Darren Bates and listen to his pod. I've been on it a bunch. He's had legendary NFL players on it. He's had actors on it. He's had musicians on it. I mean, other comedians. Just go show it some love. It's a good time. If you love podcasts, boom, add it to your rotation. Throw it in the rotation. Give it a chance. That's all we're saying. Just let him know, hey, the beans sent me. You're giving his pod a chance. That's all you want. That's all he wants. That's literally what he's paying the bills for. All right? He's a great guy. He's Beyonce. He's got big fake tits. No, Beyonce doesn't have big fake tits.
No, he has big, real, beautiful tits.
He has big, real, big, yeah, thanks, Sam. Excuse me, Darren.
Let him into your heart.
Let him into your heart.
Darren Bates.
At WestonScion_56.
This message has been approved by Darren Bates.
This message was approved by Darren Bates and all Darren Bates' associates. Also, guys, if you like custom-made T-shirts, there's only one place to go. And I mean one. You hear me, Bean Mafia? And that's Hidden Village Customs. Hidden Village Customs, guys. Custom clothing business based in the Bay Area of California. Shout out to the Bay. E40. E40 and too short. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. You know what I mean? Go show our boy in the Bay Area, Hidden Village Customs, some love, all right?
Gabe.
It's Gabe. That's
Gabe.
it.
His name's Gabe.
Gabe. He does custom design shirts that mix anime, cartoons, and comics with real life photos. They're fucking awesome. He sent us a bunch. We're waiting on him, Gabe. I want my motherfucking shirts, nigga. Also, they're fucking fresh. I want the Tom Brady one where he's drunk. It's awesome. But go follow him on Instagram at Hidden Village Customs. Literally, Hidden Village Customs. How it sounds like how it's spelled. HIDDENVILLAGECUSTOMS. They focus on putting out the best quality. All customers have been satisfied so far. I mean, literally, he's batting 1,000. It's just awesome vintage shirts. I can't wait to get mine. It looks fucking great. So show our boy some love, all right? Again, Hidden Village Customs.
Hidden Village Customs.
Hidden Village Customs.
Tell him the bean sent you.
Tell him the bean sent you. Go to his page and tell him you love pizza. And
you don't think he's a pedophile. You believe him that he's only having relationships with adult women and men or whoever. They're adults.
Or adults. Young adults, old adults, but all adults. All right. If he
Never
wants to have
on-
sex with a guy who just turned 18 or a girl who
That's
just turned
perfectly
18,
fine.
that's perfectly legal. And we're not saying he is or isn't doing that. We're just saying go follow his page, Hidden Village Customs. Okay. And a percentage of what you do goes to nonprofits back to the community. He's actually giving back.
He's a good guy.
He's actually a good guy. He might
like
be a
this dude.
pedophile. He might not be. But either way, we support him because he gives back to the fucking community.
And you're a part of the community, so you will too.
Yep. Go show him some love, Beans. Tell him the Beans sent you. Hidden Village Customs. Sam,
Yes.
the bills are paid.
We've paid all the bills.
The bills are motherfucking paid. Are you ready to hear a movie?
I am so ready to hear a movie.
You ready to hear Half Baked?
Yeah, because I wasn't really happy with my story.
How come?
It wasn't very satisfying. I felt like, there wasn't a lot of climax. There was no Dave Chappelle in mine. So
There was no Dave in yours.
I'm looking forward to yours.
Man. You ready? Movie starts. Anywhere USA, mid-'80s. You hear our boy doing the voiceover. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Dave Chappelle. No, he doesn't say that. He goes, I'm Thurgood Jenkins. And I can trace my path, my whole life, path of life to one memory. My last clear memory, actually. The summer before 9th grade. It was me, Brian, Kenny, Scarface, and beloved old James. And you see these young kids outside of a gas station with like an old man. And he goes, wait a minute. Nigga, I didn't know no old James. Get the fuck out of here. And then you see the old James poof away. Half baked. All right? And then you hear the white guy go, why don't you light it up, brother? To the young black kid. Okay? And the black kid's like, oh, here goes nothing. Now, I don't remember graduation and my first sexual experience, which is crazy to not remember your first sexual experience.
Whoa.
But remember this? Not that, because I remember smoking weed for the first time, obviously, and I remember my first sexual experience.
I remember my first sexual experience, but I think, I don't remember smoking weed for the first time.
You don't remember smoking weed for the first time?
I do, but it wasn't I didn't get high, so it didn't mean anything.
I didn't get high the first time either. I didn't get high until the second time I smoked. But the first time, I do remember doing it. It was with my boy Courtney Easterwood in Memphis, Tennessee, outside his house. I smoked the blunt. I hit the blunt a couple times. And I was like, okay. And then I was just like, all right. I didn't feel anything. I was like, all right. And then I smoked again with Tommy like a month later. And nigga, I was in the house like, oh, this is what everybody's talking about. Who got it from Smurf?
Ooh, Smurf. I met Smurf.
You met Smurf. Smurf got the dirt, dog. You smoked some Smurf weed. It's good weed.
Stuff.
Smurf got some good shit, dog. Not even like high quality LA shit, but just like, yo, you want to get high?
Good stuff.
It's good.
It was high quality.
It is high quality. But it's not like, when you see it and it doesn't look like the LA shit. It was just like, it looked like weed, right? But it's always, he's never had bad shit.
Didn't let me down.
Did not let you down. Nigga always smoked good. Smurf turf, bro. The Smurf turf. But yeah, do you remember the first time you got high?
I want to say I do, but it might have been like the second time,
Do you remember do you remember?
I think we were on a walk and we were smoking a J and I didn't think I was going to get high because I didn't get high the first time.
Yeah.
And then I got really high.
Really high?
Yeah. And it was me and my friend Kelly who you met. And I think she was dating this guy at the time, Ben. Yeah.
And you guys did you remember what you did after? Do you remember eating anything or being in your room and watching something? You know what I mean? Do you remember anything specific
No.
like that?
They all meld together. It's not a very momentous moment. I mean, it's all just being high.
Yeah.
It's not,
I remember being stoned and looking at Tommy who was stoned and he was eating chips and he had them on his chest and he had 2 and then fell asleep. And I just remember being like, damn, nigga, we are high as shit.
Oh, the first time I came home high, I raided my mom's kitchen and drank a whole glass of orange juice.
The whole thing? You said whole glass or the
whole
thing?
You're supposed to have a small glass?
Yeah.
A whole water's glass of orange juice.
How good was that shit?
It was the best.
It was the best.
It was the best. I've never had orange juice taste so good.
Ooh, and orange juice is a sharp ass drink.
Oh, yeah, that's a sharp drink. Drinks when you're high. I remember the first time I had water when you're really thirsty.
Ooh, and that shit's just hitting.
You're It feels. I said it once. If it's like Fern Gully in your mouth, like but you've never seen Fern Gully,
Never
so
seen
that
Fern
doesn't.
Gully.
But it's like just water. Everything you meant.
Everything you can imagine when you're the most
Moisture.
thirsty. Yeah. So our boys get high for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. And they're all coughing. And the Mexican kid saying that shit. He's like, man, it didn't even work, bro. I didn't even get fucking high, dog. Let's go get some candy, B, and let's get out of here. So they start slow-mo walking into the gas station, right? And they get in there, and they're like, man. He's like, you know, you hear how people say they didn't get high for the first time? Nigga, not me. I was high. Shit, we were really high. And you see them, like, I'll never forget, like, he has this big-ass Abba Zaba candy, and it's like the size of him. And he's like, eating it and shit, and you see the other kids are high, and then one kid's like, man, it feels like Jerry Garcia's in my head, man. And then you see like Jerry Garcia jamming out in his fucking ears and shit. And he goes, we met the 5th member of our crew that day. Marijuana. Cut to present day. Now I'm a janitor, and you see him working at a lab. He works at like a big science lab, right? And you see him mopping up, and he goes, they do corporate testing here on animals and shit or whatever the fuck. And he goes, and I'm the happiest custodian alive. You see he's high as shit, and he's eating candy. And he goes, he goes, my job, not that bad. Could be worse. Could be Scarface's job. Scarface is working at like a Burger King.
Oof.
You're right?
That is way worse.
And the dude who's running the cashier is Neal Brennan, who directed this movie.
Nice. Neal.
He directed this. Golly, that guy's giving me a lot of free stuff.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Funny guy.
Funny guy. Parked his car a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've seen him around.
I never forget. I sent him when we were making the sketches every day. I sent him one of the sketches. It was like, hey man, check this out. Let me know what you think. If you like it or what it could be better. You know what I mean? Because I park his car all the time and I fucking see him I was seeing him like every day. And he's cool. We always talk. We would always talk. He showed me a lot of cool shit. He showed me like the thing he directed for Jay-Z like before it even came. Like he showed me some cool shit. And he didn't say anything. He didn't say that he's seen it, right? So like a month goes by, and then he pulls into the Comedy Store parking lot one day, and I'm parking cars, and he gets out his car, and he goes walking into the store, and then he stops and he turns and he goes, "Hey, I saw your sketch." Like he said, he didn't say I saw your sketch. He said, "I saw you sent me a sketch. You know I made Chappelle's Show, right?" And I went, "Yeah, that's why I sent it to you." It's like, and then he was like, I'll watch it when I get a chance. And he walked off. And he never talked about it again. But we always were cool. So I'm assuming he watched it and he didn't like it. But we stayed cool. You know what I mean? He would always talk to me and still always gave me free shit all the time, which was really nice of him to do.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that when he was like, you know I made Chappelle's Show. And I was like, well, that's why I sent it to you. And that's why I didn't send it to Steven Spielberg.
You seem like the guy that I would ask who would have the best opinions.
Who'd have the best opinions on such things. You know what I mean? That's why I sent it to you, Playboy. So you see the Scarface dude. He's like, man, Scarface is kind of hyper for a pothead. And it's the Mexican guy. If you ever watch Chappelle's Show, he was always on that show. It's him. And then he goes, now Kenny was a kindergarten teacher. And Kenny is Harlan Williams.
Okay.
And Harley, he goes, now say what you want about him because he smoked weed. But man, that kid did wonders for those kids' self-esteem. And you see Harley Williams and he's like, oh, I'm so proud. And he's high as shit. I'm so proud of you and I love you all so, so much. And they're like, oh, and he's hugging them. And it's like, wow, that actually is true. Like, you're probably if you're a kindergarten teacher, just being stoned every day.
You're probably, just like such a sweet guy.
Just fucking in there.
Or woman.
Or just loving everybody. It's a perfect job for a stoner.
Yes. Although, I don't know how you would get away with it.
What do you mean?
Because the parents come in. They would probably notice.
Don't be high on parent-teacher day.
No, they come in sometimes to drop them off. Because they're so young. They're kindergarten.
Yeah. You got to be able to just control your shit.
You got to, hit the bong after the kids have arrived at school.
Yeah, you got to, wait till the kids are there. Everybody's there, and then you go to the bathroom, hit the bong, come back.
And then come back and start teaching.
Just have a great day teaching the kids. Now, as far as herb goes, man, you can get it all over this town. And they're in New York, right? And he goes, he gets off work, and he goes, you can get it at corner stores or bodegas. Say it with me. Bodegas. And he goes into this bodega. He goes, they always have old products, and the weed ain't bad. And he walks up, he's like, let me get 4 dimes bags. Let me get 4 dimes bags. And the guys are looking at him like this, like Iranian dudes, you know? And he's like, oh, but the problem is they always act like they don't remember you. So you got to do something drastic to make sure they do. And he's like, come on, guys, it's me. And he turns around and he opens up his butt. And they're like, oh, black ass. Hey. And he's like, that shit's degrading. And then he goes, but there's also this delivery service by Samson Simpson. And that's the best way to get it. All you do is call them up and they deliver it a half hour later. A guy comes to your house and like this nigga knows everything about weed and he gets like weed from him. Which is like, oh man, that'd have been ahead of its time in the 90s in New York.
That's crazy.
Considering that's just what it is now.
But I guess it probably in New York and places like that, they'd have stuff like that.
Yeah. Is it legal in New York?
No. I mean, it wasn't then.
No, I meant now.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, New York beans. Let me know. How legal is it there?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm curious.
I think only like Texas and New Mexico and somewhere else.
Huh. The loser states that one of them were in. Everybody has, Dave goes, everybody has a ritual when it comes to smoking. And we were no different. And then you see and then they also have another friend who works at a record store. Mm-hmm. All right. And the dude who works at the record store is the comedian Jim Brewer. You know who that is?
It's like, is he a short white guy?
I don't know if he's short. Here, I'll show you just so you can see. He's a hilarious comedian, though. He's a really hilarious comedian. Him.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him before.
Okay, yeah. So he's the other guy who looks completely, like they all look high, but he's like, remember there was one kid who was like, had Jerry Garcia in his head? Mm-hmm. So the whole time in the movie, this nigga's always like this. You know, he's just like that the whole time. Right? So, the dude's like, break out Billy Bong Thornton, man. And they grab Billy Bong Thornton, and it's this huge bong, and it's almost like a hookah bong, so they can all hit it at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then they get up, and they go, gentlemen, assume the positions, right? Some reggae music starts playing, and they fucking light it up, bro. The motherfuckers get high as fuck. Mm-hmm. So they're smoking, and they're like, yo, we got the munchies, man. Somebody's got to get the munchies. And then Jim Brewer lists like a million things that he wants. Dude, I want fucking Funyuns, man, ice cream, and this, that. And he says a million things. And Kenny's like, all right, I'll go get it. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, call the police. And everybody laughs, right? And Dave's like, man, if he ain't back in 10 minutes, nigga, I'm calling Domino's. So we see him leaving. Our boy Kenny, he's got all the food. He's got pizzas, and he's got like 5 bags of groceries, right?
Yeah.
And he's walking back, and he sees a horse. And he's like, hey, girl, you hungry? And right then this black girl walks by and goes, fuck you, nigga. He's like, I was sorry. I was talking to the horse. And he walks up and he feeds him. He's like, you like popcorn? And he starts feeding the horse, right? And he's like, it makes your teeth go pop, 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 pop. You've seen Harlan Williams, right? Mm-hmm. You know how weird he can get? Did you ever I loved his stand-up.
I do love his stand-up.
I thought his stand-up was great.
Yeah, he wasn't there as often as everyone else.
But he was there enough.
Enough that you get to see him like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He's great.
I always loved him. So it's different. It's just what he does. But he murders, though. It's not like the crowd's not shaking like how hard he murders. So you see our boys back at the crib chilling. They're watching TV. And you see like a young Tracy Morgan on TV pretending to do like Pauly Shore's job, like an MTV kind of job. You're like, yo, here's a new rapper. Sir smokes a lot. And it's Dave Chappelle. And he's like got weed, everything. Like, everything's weed. And he's like, I want to talk about Samson. Yeah, fly me to the moon. That's where I get my weed from. Like, bitch, Alex Crampton. I'm Samson. Yeah. And he's just like rapping and shit. And then Dave Chappelle's watching it. And he's like, damn, that's so cool. He gets his weed from the same guy we get it from, Samson. That's crazy, right? So you cut back to our boy, Kenny. Is all out of food. He gave the horse all his food.
Oh, no.
Okay. And he goes, oh, man, I'm all out, buddy. That's it. And the horse goes, farts, and dies. He's like, what? No. And then you see a cop run up. No! Buttercup! Buttercup! Officer down! Officer down! Oh, my God. What'd you get my Buttercup? And he's like, just some candy and chocolate chips and pink popcorn and Funyuns. This horse is a diabetic, you fucking idiot. No, I didn't know. Breathe, Buttercup. Breathe. Why? And then you see Harlan like, why? And he's like, no. He's like, you're under arrest, you dumb son of a bitch.
What?
And Harlan's like, no, what do you mean? He's like, you fucking cop killer. No, I'm just a peaceful school teacher. I love horses. And this nigga goes to fucking prison, bro.
Oh, my God.
You did not see this coming. You're like, wait a minute.
It's too much.
So his bail set at $1 million for killing an officer.
Much. Oh, yeah.
He killed an officer.
Oh, it dies?
The horse died.
Oh, no.
Bro, they put him in a cell, and all the other prisoners are like, fresh fish, fresh fish, fresh fish. And he's sitting there looking at everybody, and he's like, the weed is starting to wear off.
No.
He starts crying. Bro, that would be scary as hell, bro.
That is scary.
Definitely don't feed a horse all that, dude.
Yeah. Also, wouldn't you just be thinking about how you want some of that pizza?
Yeah, I'm going to give the horse 2 boxes.
No, I need that pizza.
Nah, a horse? You ain't getting no slices.
I never feed a horse.
No, I never feed a horse anything. They don't eat, right?
No, there's plenty of grass.
That's what they eat. Grass. Hay.
Yeah.
Get that nigga some hay, bro. You ain't got to get that nigga fucking a meatball. The meatball sub. So the boys realize Kenny didn't come home, right? Mm-hmm. And you see a guy, and they're like, where the fuck is Kenny? And you see a guy knocked out on the couch. And he throws a paper at him. And they're like, oh shit, guy on the couch moved. Okay, the dude on the couch is Stephen Wright. You know who Stephen Wright is, the comedian? And you hear like they open up the paper and it's in Stephen Wright's voice. Kenny called. He's in jail. Didn't leave a number. Guy on the couch. You see that nigga sleeping. And they're like, oh shit, come on, guys. And then Brian's like, we got to get Kenny out of jail, man. And so he goes, they get to the jail and they're like, how they treating you in here, Kenny? And he's like, I'm not getting much respect. I'm not getting the respect you think a cop killer kind of deserves around here. I think they mistake my kindness for weakness. I'm scared, guys. And they're like, well, look, man, we just got to raise 10% of your bail, bro. And that's it. That's just 10% of $1 million. And then the other 2 friends start laughing and go, that's fucking impossible. And Kenny's like, I never messed up a day in my life. How was I supposed to know I was a diabetic? I'm scared. And Dave's like, Kenny, stop crying. Look at me. Show you your mean face. I don't have a mean face. Show me your mean face. He goes, all right, that's kind of good. Just work on it, you know? And then they go, Kenny, how long do you think you can make it in here? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe 5, 6:30. And they go, Kenny, we're going to need a little longer than that, dog. He goes, but then we'll get all the money. You'll be free as a bird, bro. We promise. All right, burn, time's up. Okay. They all put their fists on the glass. And the Brian is like, Kenny, just try to have fun, man. They all leave. Dave notices a purse on the ground. He goes, oh, ma'am, you dropped your purse. Lady, is this yours? And it's this beautiful woman turns around. Mm-hmm. All right. And then she's like, oh, yeah, thank you. And then he waves, he's like, I'm sexy. You think I'm sexy? He's like that. And she's like, give me that. And she's like, bye. And he's like, can I leave with you? And she's like, follow me. Dave looks at the camera and he's like, right? So he walks outside and he's like, what's your name? And she's like, Mary Jane. You get it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get it or not.
She is marijuana.
And then he goes, really? And he has this janitor outfit on, right? And he tells her that he's a janitor and stuff. And then she's like, why? He's like, why are you here? And she's like, oh, my father's a drug dealer. You know, it ruined his life. You know, he sold weed, like he sold drugs. And she's like, do you do drugs? And he's like, no, I don't do drugs. Oh my God, down with dope, up with hope. What I always say. And she's like, all right. And they're like, his boys are like, Thurgood, come on, we gotta toke up before work. And he covers her ears. And then he's like, here, come meet my friends. And he intros to the gang. He's like, yo, this is my boy Scarface and my boy Brian. And she's like, hey, what's up, guys? And then they're like, yo, you smoke? And then she's like, no, my grandmother died of lung cancer, so smoking's bad for you. And they're like, shit, that's even more reason to toke up, man. And then he's like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? I hate y'all. You know what I mean? So they ask her for a ride, and then she's like, oh, come on, guys, I'll give you a ride. So she gives him a ride to his job. So they get to his job. His boys are asleep in the back, and they're just kind of talking the whole time. And then he goes, hey, man, you think maybe we can get together to get some ice cream? And then right then his boys wake up, and they're like, yo, this motherfucker ice cream, nigga, boo, what a bitch. And then she's like, boys, out of the car. And then they all get out, right? And then she's like, hey, yo, Thurgood. He's like, oh, yeah, you want to get the ice cream? And she's like, you forgot your hat.
Oh.
Thank you. And he goes, maybe I can give you my number, and you'll think about it. And she's like, all right. And he gives it to her. He's like, don't call too late. I strip in the evening. And then she laughs. And then she's like, I don't know, maybe I will call. He's like, maybe. I hope so. All right, she leaves.
Dave Chappelle.
David
Chappelle.
Lacey.
Lacey.
So at work, the janitor, you know, I told you he works at the scientist lab, right? One of the scientists taps him on the shoulder and he's like, hey, I know this isn't your responsibility, sir, but would you be a dear and run this order down to the downstairs for me and bring it back? And he's like, oh, cool. All right. Well, I know this isn't your responsibility, but here, mop the rest of this shit up and I'll be back. And he hands him his mop and then like walks off. Right. So he comes down. He hands the order to to this lady. And he's like, damn, what the fuck is that? Smells good as shit. He's like, is that? Smells himself. He's like, what? And then she goes, here you go, sir. 1 pound of marijuana. And he's like, oh. And he looks and it's just a brick of weed.
Whoa.
And he's like, and he signs and he's like, as he's like signing for it. And then he's taking it back upstairs. And he's looking at it and he grabs it and he's like, thank you very much. And then the doctor's like trying to take it from him and he like won't give it to him. And finally the doctor's like, he's like, here, I know what you want. And the doctor looks around and opens it up and hands him like a handful of weed.
What?
I know. I always thought, man, that must be super clutch.
Yeah.
To just get a handful, like this kind of handful.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, dog.
The doctor just can do that?
I guess. And then as he's doing it, Dave's like grabbing more. He's like, thank you so much. And he like keeps grabbing more out of the thing and like putting it like in his thing. So he gets home and he's like, hey, fellas. And the fellas are all bummed. He's like, what's going on? They're like, man, just thinking of Kenny, man. Fuck, it sucks. I'm like, yeah. Dave's like, I got some weed from work. Y'all want to try it? And they're like, no, not without Kenny. It wouldn't be right. And Dave's like, yeah, you're right. I don't want to try it either. It's quiet. And then Dave's like, y'all want to smoke? And they're like, yeah, man. Yeah, break out Billy Bong Thornton, man. And then Brian's like, no, not Billy Bong Thornton. No, it was not right without Kenny. Break out Wesley Pipes. So they grab this big pipe. And they're like, all right, man. The doctor gave it to me. It smells like the bomb, so let's see what it's like. Dave hits it first and just starts like coughing like me. And then they're like,
that's
oh,
awful, the
shit.
coughing.
Yeah, they're like, oh. You said you don't like the cough thing?
I hate the coughing.
You cough sometimes. That's when I know you're like, oh, it got her. If Sam's
You're
coughing,
coughing all the time.
I cough every time.
Ugh.
You get so much higher.
You should just take not so intense hits.
Why are you so girly?
I just think you should take care of yourself.
That's fair. She loves me. So this nigga's dying coughing. I mean, he's, you know. And so Dave, like, he's sweating and shit. The Scarface dude hits it. And the Brian guy's like, should I hit it? And they're both like, hit it. He hits it, bro. And they're like, oh, shit. They're like, dang, man. And Dave's like, yo, the guy on the couch has to try this. And he goes and he wakes up the dude on the couch. He's like, yo, sorry to wake you, man, but you got to try this. The guy on the couch hits it. And he's like, and then passes back out.
Yo, he's just sleeping on the couch the whole time?
Yeah, he's just the guy on the couch.
Nice.
That's kind of how we live our life.
Yeah, there's always a guy on the couch.
Usually.
Not today.
Sam is really stoned, guys. Look at her. She
I
can't
know,
even put words
handle this.
together.
Don't look at me. Stop
Sam,
it.
everyone's looking at you. What do you mean? They're listening to you do a podcast. I'm so sorry, guys. I think I got Sam a little too stoned for this one.
Okay, I can pull it together.
I can see it in her eyes. She's like, yo, I'm on the moon. I told her Kenny's in jail in this comedy movie for killing a horse, and you were like, no, not Kenny. Like, she took that shit to heart, nigga. Like it's Terminator 2, which is also silly.
Okay.
You ready? Mm-hmm. Oh, baby. It's just a comedy.
Okay.
You'll get through this. So, y'all should see her face, bro. My God. So, they're like, damn, bro, I can't move, B. I'm fucking stuck to the floor. And these niggas are all like this, like high like this. Mm-hmm. And then, you know the Nutcracker theme?
Yeah, dude. Yes.
How's it go?
No.
How's the Nutcracker theme go?
Wait, you must have just heard it. You
I
watched
did.
the
It's
movie.
in this movie, yeah.
I know what it is.
Damn, I had it in my head and I can't remember it.
I messed you up when I started trying to do it.
I know now that's stuck in my head. That do. And I'm like, wait, that's not it. What is it? It's like, damn, bro. I bet That's not it, nigga. Wait, what is it? Fuck, I can't remember it, bro. I can't remember it. Damn, it slipped my head.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh my god. I'm glad I know it too. And you know what? Y'all niggas know it too. So I ain't even got to do it. You know the fucking Nutcracker theme, nigga. You know what I mean? So then
That's what I said.
That's not what you said. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. Is that what you said? Do it. No, you were just like.
No, it's like.
That's not what it is. It might be. That might be.
I'm doing it up the octave.
Yeah, you're doing it at a higher note. It's the same thing, I think. But yeah, you did do it. No, you didn't. You didn't do it. She didn't do it.
I did it.
I did it. Go rewind the tape. So
I don't think either of us are right, if I'm being honest.
So these niggas start floating, right? Mm-hmm. And they float and they just fly all over the city, bro. They start flying over the city. He's like, man, this weed was the fiddle black patty snack. You know what I mean? And you see them, and the guy on the couch is floating and shit.
But he's asleep still?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the boys, they go check on Kenny, and he's looking at himself in the mirror, and he's like, you're not a fish. You're a man. You're a man. And then this nigga went, what was that? You're not a fish. He's like, make a fish face. They're like, damn, we got to get this nigga out of jail. So back to them at the table, bro. And Kenny's like, I know how we get out of jail. And they go, how? We'll sell weed, bro. And then Dave Chappelle's like, we need a plug to be able to sell weed. He's like, I know the perfect plug. Who? You, bro. He's like, what do you mean, man? I can't just walk into that fucking hospital and take weed. I need a form and shit. He's like, yo, forms lay around everywhere. You're like, just get one from the scientist. He's like, bro, we're not stealing or selling weed, all right? We're bright men. We can come up with a better idea. We just got to think. So they start thinking, and you hear the Jeopardy music playing.
That one I know.
And they're thinking, and a whole day goes by. And then Scarface goes, yo, I got an idea. And they're like, what? He goes, yo, we can sell that shit you smoked us out the other night with, bro. He's like, yo, you suggested that already. That was the first idea. He goes, oh, yeah. And he goes, but it won't take us no time. Man, but it's too risky. And they're like, yo, what other choice we got, B? We got to save Kenny. He's like, all right. We do it till Kenny's out of jail, though. We're not drug dealers. We're fundraisers. And Scarface is like, all right, bro, I got a plan. So he lays out his plan, and Dave's like, man, Scarface's plan wasn't bad. So Dave comes into work late, and he sneaks in, like, after hours. He stays late. He gets some forms. He forges them, and he gets 2 pounds of marijuana. All right? So he goes, we went out and bought bikes with a little bit of money we had, and we stapled our weed back to the business cards. Called it Mr. Nice Guy with my phone number on the back.
Okay.
Mr. Nice Guy, named after our boy Kenny, the nice guy. All right? So you see a guy in jail a big black dude ask for Kenny's fruit cocktail. And Kenny's like, no, if I give you my fruit cocktail today, then you'll want my fruit cocktail tomorrow. And the guy's like, you give me your fruit cocktail right now. You want to fuck with me? And he stands up, and he's this huge ass nigga, right? And then you know who Cheech and Chong are? Chong is in this movie. He stands up and he goes, hey, this is my bitch. Chill, nasty Nate. All right? And he gets into a kung fu pose. And he's like, the black guy gets all nervous, and he sits down, and he's like, you watch your back, fresh fish. Squirrel Master won't be here to protect you all the time. Squirrel, his name is Squirrel Master. I never knew that till today. That's hilarious. And he goes, and then Harlan Williams is like, yeah, I'm someone's bitch. And he walks off. So Kenny, next time he's talking to the boys, he tells them everything that's going on. Like, yo, this guy Nasty Nate's trying to fuck me. You got to get me the fuck out of here. Squirrel Master's saving my life. Oh my God, but I got to be Squirrel Master's bitch. And they're like, yo, Kenny, we got a plan. He's like, what is it? They're like, you might not like it, so don't judge us, but we're going to sell weed. He's like, go, get out of here. Go sell weed. Sell all the weed. Get me the fuck out of here. Go. So we hit the streets, and they're passing out free joints, right? Of their stuff. And they go to a nightclub, and they're giving it out. And they're like, man, hope this shit works. And then they look up, and everybody in the nightclub is floating on the weed.
Yeah. And
they're like, damn, this is some good ass shit. So the next day, they're waiting by the phone for their first call. And they get a call, and they're high-fiving, like, we're in business. And Dave's like, Mr. Nice Guy. And then the girl, it's the Mary Jane. She's like, oh, I must have the wrong number. I'm looking for Thurgood. Is he around? He's like, oh, this is Thurgood. And she goes, hey, it's Mary Jane. I gave you a ride home from prison. You want to get together? And he goes, ride home from prison. Who is this again? He goes, I get like a ride home from prison every other day. And she's like, what? He's like, I'm kidding. He goes, how about now? And she's like, all right, give me a half an hour. I'll meet up with you. He's like, cool. She's like, I'll meet you where I dropped you off. He's like, dope. Bye-bye. And he hangs up and he starts humping the table. And he's like, I got a date with Mary Jane. And then he goes, shit, y'all got some money? And his boys are like, no, we ain't got no money. They're like, damn. He goes, I only had $8. This was going to take some classic maneuvering. Watch the master work. So you see him out on the date, right? And there's a money counter on the screen, like a numbered clock, and it says $8. Okay? He goes, look, Mary Jane, it's such a nice day out. You want to go for a walk? And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. He's like, yes, working good so far. 3 hours and 14 miles later, haven't spent a penny, and we're having the time of our lives. You see them laughing and walking, right? And she goes, man, I'm hungry, which is like, why? It's like, bro, you knew she was going to say that at some point. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, she's like, oh, you want to eat at this restaurant over here? And he's like, oh, no, how about this hot dog? She's like, Cornerstone hot dog? She's like, okay. And he's like, all right. She's like, they go get hot dogs. He's like, yes. And then she's like, all right, can I get a hot dog with ketchup and sauerkraut? And then he's like, sauerkraut's extra 50 cents. She's like, oh, that's no problem. And he's like, fuck. So he pays it, right? He has $5.50. And the guy's like, you want some? He's like, no, I'm good. And then they're about to walk off. And he's like, you want a drink? He's like, fuck you, man. And she's like, yeah, I'll take a drink. He's down to $4.50. Okay? And then she goes, hey, by the way, didn't you promise me ice cream? And he's like, oh, yeah. And she's like, I know this great place. Let's go to it. And she's like, it's a couple blocks up. He's like, all right, cool. Let's hoof it. And then she goes, oh, let's take a cab this time. Do you mind? And he's like, sure. He gets out the cab. They get to the ice cream place. He has 25 cents left.
It only cost him $4?
It's the 90s.
Oh, yeah, it's the 90s.
But that would have been, I guess, still, if you only had $8, that's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So he has 25 cents left. They're walking into the ice cream place. A homeless guy goes, spare change. And he's got a cup out, right? Dave looks in the cup and he goes, sure. And he reaches in and grabs all the money out. And now he's back up to $3.43.
Yo, David.
He's got I get it. You wouldn't have did that?
Naughty boy.
Would you not have done that?
No.
What would you have done?
First of all, it's disgusting.
Well, look at Sam judging the money all of a sudden. What would you have done? You have 25 cents left.
I don't know.
Told her the truth?
Just be honest.
God, you're the worst. Girls are the worst. Honesty.
Honesty is the best policy, Deric.
No, it's not. Honesty hurts people's feelings.
Whose feelings are going to hurt? His?
This homeless guy's feelings definitely got hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So he's got more money now.
Yep. They get a big sundae. Now he's back down to 16 cents, and they're just eating. And they're talking about her dad. Her dad apparently used to sell weed, and he got 4 years. And Dave's like, damn, just for weed? And she's like, yeah, just for weed. Marijuana is a gateway drug. He's like, yeah, gateway to junk food. And then she's like, no, I'm serious. Like, you don't smoke weed, do you? And he's like, no. She's like, swear to me. And she grabs his hand. Boom, swear on this banana split you don't smoke weed. And he's like, Mary Jane, I don't smoke weed. She's like, okay, that's good. Real good. And then you hear him go, I got some booty. I got some booty. And you see Polaroid shots of him like with her like, and they're doing like jumping in each other's arms and like she's like holding him up with his feet and he's like this. Yeah. And he's like, I got some booty. Right? And then he was like, man, he's like, and I didn't even need weed. I was hooked on Mary Jane. Mm-hmm. So cut to the next day. The phones were blowing up like a telethon. They're getting calls from everywhere. And he's like, man, we were getting all kinds of customers. He's like, he's like that one kind of customer that always like thinks weed makes everything better. And you see him going into a house to sell a guy weed, and it's Jon Stewart.
Whoa.
And Jon Stewart's like, hey, man, you ever seen the movie Sin of a Woman with Al Pacino? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, but you ever seen it with on weed? He's like, man, it's $60. He gets the shit. He goes, yo, you ever seen the back of the 20? He's like, I guess. But you ever seen the back of the 20 on weed? And he's like, dude, there's some shit back there you don't even know, bro. Right? And he goes, and then you got the scavenger smokers. That's the kind of smokers. They never have weed on them, but when you're smoking, they're always around. And then you see the Dave and Jim Brewer, they light up, and Snoop Dogg pops out of nowhere. He's like, man, what y'all smoking on? And he's like, can I hit that? And they're like, oh, come on, bro. He's like, shit, I smell it. Let me inhale it, player. And he grabs it. He's like, ooh, and he starts hitting it. And they're like, damn, motherfucker, scavenger. And this nigga smokes it all the way down. He's like, I gotta go. See y'all later. And they're like, damn, man. So he goes, He goes, and then you got the you should have been there smoker. That's a motherfucker that always tells you about how smoking was better back in the day. Oh. And he cut to, he's talking to Willie Nelson.
Nice.
He's like, man, brother, let me tell you, it was just different back in the day, man. And he's smoking with him. And Dave's like, man, you a cool ass dude, bro. And then he goes, but I got to charge you $60. He's like, damn, I remember when a dime bag used to cost a dime, brother. And he's smoking. He goes, then you got the afternoon special smoker. And he goes, that's the kind of motherfucker who spends all his money on weed. And you show it like a teenager smoking all his money, like smoking a bunch of weed. He goes, and then you got the 40-year-old dad smoker. 40-year-old dad, I can't even say it. Damn, I'm so high. 40-year-old dad smoker. And all they need to do is talk to their kid. But if they only knew that they were, and then you see these two dad and a son like in adjacent rooms getting high.
Oh, yeah.
God, what if your parents were like that? What if your parents were smoking weed the whole time?
No.
Not even close?
Maybe. It would be funny if it was.
Cool.
That'd be cool.
Out of your parents, who do you... I could see your dad getting high.
I guess my dad getting high. I think my mom smoked weed. I don't know. I don't think she does anymore, but I know she has. Pardon me.
Sam is high as a biscuit. So, he goes, man, we made over 20 grand that first week. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
20 grand in a week?
In a week? That's
that ain't
very
bad.
Good.
He goes, but we had to quit our jobs to full-time deliverers. So you see Scarface quit his job. And this is like a famous quote. So you see him at his job and he goes, man, I quit. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you. I'm out. And he leaves, right? And then you see him, Brian, well, he was about to quit his job, but he got fired anyway. And then you see Brian and he's at the record store and he's like, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do what everybody thinks I'm going to do. Just flip out, man. You know what movie this is from?
No.
You don't know what movie this is from? All I want to know is, who's coming with me? Who's coming with me, man? And that girl's like, I'll go. Jan. Thank you, Jan. Come on. And they leave. You don't know what movie that's from? That's Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Have you seen that, right?
I've seen it, but not like
in a long time. It's a really good movie.
It's all right. I don't remember. I was like my dad really liked Tom Cruise movies.
I mean, they're really good.
And I never really cared for it.
Yeah.
So I've never watched it as an adult.
Yeah.
Maybe we should rewatch it.
It's a really good movie. I love it a lot. Unless somebody wants me to do it for somebody else on the pod, which I will.
Do you Renee Zellweger?
Ooh, that's a good Renee.
It's my Renee.
That's your Renee Zellweger?
Uh-huh.
That's a good Renee Zellweger face. So he goes, man, we hired that girl Jan to answer our phones. And all she did was work for weed. And she was organizing all our shit for us. And you see Mr. Nice Guy blowing up. We were getting customers from everywhere. You know, he even got a few from Samson. And then they go to that rapper's house, which is the Dave Chappelle guy. And it's Dave Chappelle going to his own, like, to the, you know, he's like, what's up, nigga? He's like, come on, man, smoke some weed with your boy. He's like, shit, man, I'll smoke with you. He goes, man, I love weed. He goes, I want a pound of that sweet cheese. He goes, damn, pound? Well, that's $9,600. $9 grand, $600 for a pound. And then 90. That's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
You don't know weed prices?
No, I don't know.
I can tell because you're like, that doesn't seem 10 grand for 1 pound of weed is ridiculous.
Yeah, that does seem crazy, but it's like I can't. At the same time, I can't imagine what it would be now.
So that's why I can see your face. You were like,
huh.
That's a lot, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
Math
is hard too. Also, how much is a pound?
It's a lot. I think like what pound is? How many ounces? An ounce is
16. Or is that a gallon?
28 grams is an ounce. I think a pound is 14 ounces. Maybe I'm wrong.
You guys tell us.
You guys, yeah. One of you guys who sells weed, tell us. Please leave it in the comments. So he goes, man, I got my weed, I got my bong. Smoke with your boy, right? And he goes, man, I smoke with him. And that motherfucker opened up about everything. And you see Dave Chappelle like, that nigga had sex with my mama. And the doctor said, I got a bad back. I got a backotomy. I need a backotomy. And he's just going off about like all of his problems and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, no wonder that nigga smokes so much. And then he goes, and guess what else? I got more booty. I got more booty. You see him fucking with Mary Jane. He goes, man, I liked her so much. Still not thinking of weed. And he goes, in the prison shower, you see Harlan, he's singing, all by myself, in the shower with all these niggas, right? And he drops the soap.
No, you're not supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to. Sam even knows that. Don't do that shit. Beaners, don't. This nigga drops the soap. He goes down to bend over. He turns around, and the black guy there, Nasty Nate, and then Squirrel Master walks up, and he goes, "What I tell you about him, Nasty Nate?" And then they start fighting, and Kenny watches all scared.
Oh my God.
So Scarface, Dave gets home. Scarface bought a dog with a doghouse. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck? We're not supposed to be spending any money." And he goes, "Well, he bought something." And Brian's like, "What'd you buy?" And he bought a necklace, $400, apparently with Jerry Garcia in it. He goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are y'all spending money?" And they go, "Yo, didn't you get Mary Jane a pearl necklace?" He's like, "Fuck y'all, man. Look, all right, we're supposed to be saving money. We're not drug dealers. This is about Kenny's sweet virgin ass, man. All right?" And so he goes, you see the dog being all mean, and Dave's like, "Man, we got to calm this dog down." And he blows some weed in his face, and the dog likes it. And he's like, and the dog gets really high, and then he runs and he starts eating all the dog food. And the Scarface is like, "Yo, what'd you do to my dog, man? Yo, kill her, kill! Yo, kill her, kill!" And the dog just runs and jumps out the window and starts flying.
Whoa.
And they're like, "This weed is fantastic." I like how you looked out the window. You're amazing, Sam. So you see him selling weed to this one comic. I think her name is Jane Garofalo. Mm-hmm. You see him selling weed to her. And then he's selling weed to like this one guy who's like a MacGyver smoker. You know, the kind of smoker who can turn a bong out of anything.
Oh, yeah.
And you see one of those kind of niggas. And then, dude, those guys were handy in college. Having those kind of friends, the MacGyver smokers.
Did you like the apple?
They can smoke out of anything, right?
Crazy.
Dude, I smoked out of Gatorade bottles. I smoked out of weird water bottles, like fucking all kinds of shit.
The gravity bongs.
All those, yeah. You get high as fuck off those. So he goes, "Man, you get all kinds of smokers." And then Dave goes, "And you occasionally get the avid non-smoker who really just found out you sell weed and called to place an order just to catch you." And he opens the door and it's Mary Jane. And she's like, and then he's like, "Mary Jane, you smoke weed?" And she's like, "No, you idiot. I found this with your number on it and I couldn't believe it. You're a low-life asshole." And he's like, "Mary Jane, I can explain." And she slams the door. He's like, "I lied because I like you." So he gets home, right? And the boys are celebrating that the rapper, the Sir Smokes a Lot guy, made a song on MTV about them. "You gotta hit up Mr. Nice Guy. That's where I buy my weed from now," right? And they show the Samson dude, who is this nigga. He was in the movie American Gangster. He was in the beginning. He's this old black guy. He's in a lot of classic black movies. Mm-hmm. And he looks just like a villain, bro.
Yo.
He looks like one of the Isley brothers. Uh-huh. That's what he looks like to me. And you see this nigga, he goes, "Bring me this Mr. Nice Guy. I want to ask him some questions." And he's got nothing but bad bitches around him, right? So you see Kenny thanking the Squirrel Master for protecting him in prison. He really appreciates it. And he goes, "Man," and he's like, "Don't mind a thing." And then you see him like open up his jacket. He's got a squirrel inside and he feeds it. And he goes, "I'll thank you on the outside." And he goes, "Oh, well, I hope that's soon because I get out in 11 days. And then he says that and he looks over at Nasty Nate, the big black guy, and the black guy winks. And he's like, "Oh shit." And he calls Thurgood and he tells him he has 11 days. You got to get him out before 11 days. Mm-hmm. That's all he has left before he gets, raped. So he goes, "Man, we had to hustle and take on new customers." So you see Scarface go to the Samson guy's place, right? You see Samson playing the piano. Mm-hmm. And Scarface is like, "Yo, you wanted to buy some weed, bro?" And then all of his women pull guns on him. And he's like, "Damn, B, this is you set me up, bro." Like that. So Dave,
yeah,
he's thinking about how much he misses Mary Jane, right? And then who he slept with 5 years before her. And he's like, "Man, I can't go back to that." And you see him run to Mary Jane. He apologizes. He's like, "I love you. I'm going to be clean and I'm going to be sober. I'll be a changed man, Mary Jane. You'll see. I love you." He goes,
good for
"Man,"
him.
right? He goes, "Man,
turn his life around."
Yeah, good for him. I couldn't do it. Man, that first day of sobriety sucked. I was irritable as shit. You see him about to fight everybody at work. He's like, "So I decided to go get help." He's at a rehab place. He goes, "Hi, I'm Thurgood." Everybody's like, "Hi, Thurgood." He goes, "I'm here because I'm addicted to marijuana." And then the guy goes, "Man, that's some bullshit. Marijuana? What the fuck?" And you see Bob Saget stand up. He goes, "Man, I used to suck dick for coke. You ever suck dick for coke?" And he's like, "No." And they're like, "Boo, boo this man, boo." So you see Kenny. he has a calendar in his jail cell, and it's a nasty Nate calendar.
Oh my God.
And he's marking off the days till he has 11 days. He's like, no, 666, mark of the beast. And he's scratching off his penis. Naughty jungle of love. No. So Scarface gets home with Thurgood, right? And he's telling him, like, yo, this Samson guy said all this and that. And they get home, and their dog is dead. No! They killed Killer B! He killed Killer, man. So they bury the dog. And then Scarface is like, what happened? What happened with the Samson guy? He's like, Killer paid the price. So Brian says this whole other story of like, no, I don't think that's what happened to Killer. And they show this montage of, he's like, I think Killer was a lone dog. And they show this montage of a Rottweiler, right? And I think he was really trained to be a killer dog. And then one day, they pinned him against his brother, Nibbles. And him and his brother, he was like, no, I won't kill him. And his brother, they had to fight. And that's when he killed Nibbles.
No.
And he made off. And he started doing crack cocaine.
What?
And that's how he really died. And they're like, yo, bro, you got to stop smoking so much, Brian. You are like fucked up. So they go to talk to the dude, right? And they tell like they go to talk to the guy on the couch. Mm-hmm. They go, guy on the couch, did you kill my dog? Or you see who did it? And he's like, no. He's like, man, I believe him. So right then they get a call. And they go, it's from Samson. And they go, who is this? And they go, he's like, I want to speak to Mr. Nice Guy. You tell him to get his ass here. His Jamaican ass here by tomorrow, 3:00. And
Jamaican?
Yeah, and Dave Chappelle's like, Scarface, why the fuck does Samson think Mr. Nice Guy's Jamaican? He's like, oh, because I told him he was Jamaican, B. He said, why the fuck would you tell him he's Jamaican? He's like, because he always sounded Jamaican in my head, B. And then he's like, fuck, where the fuck we gonna get a Jamaican from? Right? And Brian's like, dude, I can be Jamaican. You have smoked yourself retarded, Brian. So they come in and Dave has a Rasta hat on, right, to the Samson guy's office. And Samson's like, welcome to my lair. He goes, tell me about yourself. I be from Jamaica, man. He goes, Lord of mercy. And he goes, wow. He goes, interesting, because I think you're bullshitting me. He goes, no, I stick to my story. I'm from Jamaica. Why else would I be wearing this hat, man? And then right then Samson goes, bring me 814. And then a hot girl goes and says 814. And she goes and grabs it. It's a fucking crossbow.
Whoa.
And Dave's like, oh shit, I don't want to be the first nigga to die from a crossbow, man. I'm sorry, bro, I'm sorry. And he's like, look, our friend got locked up. We're just trying to get him out of jail. That's all we're trying to do. He's like, listen here. I assume you guys make about 40 to 50,000 a week. Well, I want half. That's 20 grand a week. You understand me? Or you're dead. Class dismissed. They're like, oh shit. So they get home debating what to do. Mm-hmm. And the guys, they're like, oh fuck, what do we do, right? You see the guy on the couch as they're debating, he gets up and he walks by them and they're like, oh shit, the guy on the couch. And he's like, yo, what day is it? And they're like, it's Saturday. He's like, it's not Monday? They're like, no. He goes, is it January? They're like, no, it's August. Wow, August. And he goes, hey, I've been listening to you guys talk. If you want to double your profits and fix this problem, just rob that lab of yours. It's never open on Sundays. No one's ever there. It'll be perfect. Just do that. And he's like taking a piss the whole time. You hear him pissing. And he goes, they go, hey man, do you plan on moving out soon, guy on the couch? And he opens the door and he's like, Thurgood, focus on one thing at a time. The robbery is what's important now. And he slams the door. So they get to the lab, right? Scarface is painted like a mime. Mm-hmm. And they break in. And you hear the Mission Impossible music, and they get the door open, and the alarm goes off, and they're like, shit, right? And then you see the security watching, and they're like, holy shit, it's Thurgood, the custodian.
No.
Like this fucking idiot. So they get to the room where all the weed is, and it's just an unreal amount of weed. Uh-huh. Like the whole room is just pounds of pounds of pounds. Like just
too
heaven.
Much weed.
Just heaven, bro. And the boys are just screaming and laughing and they're fucking dousing themselves in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they steal a bunch of it and they run outside and the cops are everywhere.
Of course.
Obviously.
The alarm went off.
Yeah. So our boy grabs a mop and starts pretending to mop. Scarface starts doing mime shit, right? And they're like, well, at least Brian got away. And then right then Brian fucking jumps down. And he's like, fuck. So they're talking to the agents, right? And they're asking like, hey, if you don't want us, we can help you bring down the Samson guy. We have a meeting with him in a couple days, right? And they're like, the cops are like, all right, deal. So cut to, they're going to bribe Samson. This movie also is only an hour and 22 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Super short.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how short it was. But I know it all by heart. I know the whole fucking movie. That's why I'm telling the whole thing. Because I just know it so well. And I'm stoned, so it was hard to
It's hard to
not say every piece
censor.
of it. It's hard to censor. It's hard to filter when you're stoned.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm looking into your stoned eyes.
And I'm looking into your stoned eyes.
Who do you think has more stoned eyes? Hope the Bean Mafia saw that.
I don't know. What'd you do? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I'm just saying. How high are you, woman? Oh my God. This woman is nuts, dog. I like how you're just forgetting that we're doing a podcast. It's like you just like, oh, we're just hanging out, right?
Right?
No. This is you're performing. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to do anything. You sit and be beautiful.
This is Stellar Elixir's fault.
Yeah, it is. Stellar Elixir. Your fault.
You're too good.
You're too good, bro. So they're talking to agents, right? And they're going to bring down Samson. So they go, yo, here's the money, and here's some extra money. So you got to make sure you buy some stuff from them and make sure you say what you're going to buy. All right? You got to get Samson to say it. You record it on this recorder. They put it on Dave Chappelle. If anything goes wrong, or when you get him to purchase, like when you get the drugs from him, say abracadabra.
That's what, abracadabra?
Abracadabra. That's a lot. It's like, how am I going to squeeze that in the conversation?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Right? And they go, all right, remember, act normal. And they're like, how the fuck do you expect us to act normal? Like, we're going to go in there all clear-eyed. They're going to know something's up. So he's like, fine. So they let him smoke some weed. So they smoke the whole back of the van out. And then he gives a note that he wrote to the officer, and he goes, if I die, give this to a girl named Mary Jane. All right? And they go, fine. So they get out the van, and just smoke comes burling out the van. Okay? So they go, and he goes, hello, boys. And they go, hi, Samson. He goes, where is my money? And they go, it's in the bag. And they go, Samson, can I ask you a question? You know where we can score some cocaine? And Samson's like, you boys want some candy? And they go, no, cocaine. And then you see the cops, they're high as shit listening. And they're like, man, these motherfuckers are doomed. Ah! And they start laughing. Yeah. Because they're fucking baked now, right? Yeah. So he goes, well, what about this Colombian heaven? And he throws some like cocaine on the ground. He goes, you know, the kind of candy that makes you dandy. And they go, well, is this all the cocaine we can get for 10 G's? And he goes, oh, you want some more? He goes, yeah, we can get some more cocaine. He goes, what about this? What about heroin? He goes, what about some fine china? He goes, really? So we can get some heroin and cocaine from you? He goes, yeah, do you guys want heroin and cocaine? He's like, yes, we do want it. He's like, fine. He gets it from him. He goes, gives him the money. He goes, okay, well, that's all we'll need. Thank you very much. Abracadabra. And nothing happens. He goes, abracadabra. Cut to the cops. They're reading his love letter, going, what a fucking faggot, right? So they keep saying abracadabra, abracadabra. Nothing happens. And then he goes, boys, why do you keep saying that? And then they take his shirt off, Dave Chappelle's, and he has a wire.
Damn.
And he goes, Samson, you know, I'm sorry. And they go, you're fucking dead, all of you. And he goes, fellas, let's beat these bitches. Because all of his women are like really hot women. So they start fighting the women. Yeah. So you see this girl fighting Scarface, and he bites her, and they're rolling on the ground, and then one of her titties pops out.
What?
She has some great titties, too. And Scarface is like, that's a fucking titty, B. And then everybody in the fight stops, and Dave Chappelle's like, now that's a titty. It's official fully, man. So you see Dave, he throws like a piranha at this one girl's neck, and you see Scarface about to run and kill
piranha?
Yeah, like a piranha out of a glass fish tank, and he throws it at a girl's neck, and it like that. And then you see Scarface running at Samson. He goes, this is for Killer B. And then Samson grabs him and puts a gun to his head. And he goes, oh, shit. And he goes, you all didn't think I could walk? Because he's been in a wheelchair the whole movie.
Yeah. Oh.
They don't really show it, though. But he's been sitting down the whole movie.
Okay.
They're like, we thought you were crippled. He's like, no, motherfucker. And then he goes, I'm going to take your Mexican friend here, and I'm going to kill him. And he goes, I'm fucking Cuban, B. And then he goes, Brian's like, Jerry, we need you. And he throws his bag of sand, and magic comes out of it, and Jerry Garcia pops out. Sam can't believe it. If you're listening, Sam can't believe it.
What is happening in this movie?
And he takes his guitar and he knocks Samson out with it. All right, and then he and he goes, I told you he was real, man. He goes like, you're welcome, Brian. Peace. And then Jerry Garcia disappears.
Amazing.
So the cops come in and they're laughing and they're like, all right, boys, you did it. You can go home. So he goes, man, we were able to cut a deal and get our boy Kenny out. And they're like, hallelujah. They're celebrating. He goes, which brings me to the Brooklyn Bridge, where I made things right with Mary Jane. And you see him on the Brooklyn Bridge. And she's like, hi, how are you? And he's like, a little high from yesterday. She's like, he's like, but I'm done. That's it, Mary Jane. I'm celibate. You know, I'm going clean. You know, he's like, I'm not doing anything else. He's like, but this is my last joint. He goes, do you mind if I have a moment with it? She's like, fine, take your time. She walks off. And he goes, Mary Jane, being with you these last 11 years has been wonderful. But I got to move on. And she's like, hey, you see Mary Jane, and it's like a beautiful black woman's voice, like wrapped up like in a weed thing. And she's like, come on, smoke me. Come on, Thurgood, smoke me one last time. And he's like, oh, come on. She's watching. Oh, right, okay. And he's about to light. He's like, no, I can't. I can't do this anymore. God damn you. And he throws her. And she's like, you'll be back. And then he looks at her and he goes, Mary Jane, I love you. And he kisses her. And then he holds her and he's crying and he's looking at the weed. And he goes, I know what you're all thinking. Thurgood, you sold out. Well, I love weed. But not as much as I love pussy. Half Baked.
Wow. That was amazing. That movie was a lot. I never saw any of the places that it was going.
I know, I could tell. Was it because you're so stoned?
That, and also it was very original.
It was. I think that's why it's a cult classic, because it's like, it's its own movie.
Yeah, there's nothing else like that.
There's nothing else like it. That's why it lasted so long. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? So the credits roll, and then like a Marvel movie, at the end of the credits, which I never knew, it's Dave, and it's sitting with all the cast and a bunch of kids that played the kids in the beginning of the movie, and it's him going, hey, if you want to learn more about substances, like illegal substances and stuff, go to your local library. And remember, the more you read, the smarter you are. Yay! And they all clap. And then it ends.
Cool.
It's like a legit heartfelt moment.
I like that. That's true. The more you read, the smarter you are.
Yeah, and I like he was like, you can just go to any of your public library.
You can. You can still do that.
What a thing to support.
You should support your libraries. Libraries don't get enough support anymore.
They don't. And it's like, it is where like, I mean, dude, I love them.
Also, think about all the people who like are homeless and that's their only way to access the internet. Like if you're trying to get a job, but you don't have a house.
Or you just want to learn something.
Or you want to learn something.
Because it is like, you can go get a college education for free at the public library.
Pretty much.
You can go get your doctorate. Mm-hmm. You can. Like you can learn how to do, you can learn anything you want from the library.
At the library. And on YouTube.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
But it is cool. Yeah. Go support your public library. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you smoked some weed as well and got high with us. And got
high with someone you loved or love.
That's what we did, didn't we, baby?
Why are we doing this with the mic up? It's weird.
Because I didn't know they had to hear that. Oh, Bean Mafia. I wish I could make out with you too.